This is one of the very important flagship programs of the union, and it is pivotal in the academics of students in China. And I believe that this is really going to help us if we take it serious. Reflecting on the depth and breadth of our students' interest, tonight we have a guest speaker who is going to help us open our eyes on and ways we could draft or comment or start our research plan from start to the end. We know that to a lot of us, the freshers and even those who have already done their research work before, normally it's difficult for them to even go about it. So I think this is very important. Please, I need your attention. I need you to take this seriously so that at the end of the day, it will be a blessing to and impactful to all of us. Before I go on, I would like to pray. In everything, we can't do without prayer. Yes, so we'll take a short prayer. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for tonight, such a time like this. This is a moment, oh God, for your people and the union. And we know that you are in charge. You are the beginner and the end of everything. Father, we pray that this meeting will be impactful, that at the end of the day, oh God, people will have something to chew on. They will understand whatever presentation that is going to come tonight, that at the end of this presentation, people would have testimonies about whatever we've learned tonight. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen. Can I get an amen from everyone?
Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, powerful. Amen. We want an interactive and a very lively session. So please don't be quiet on us when you are needed. Yeah. So we would like to take a quick purpose of gathering. If Sandra is there, please, we would like to take a quick purpose of gathering from you, and I would like to welcome you all on board, honorable students and leaders. NEC, I would like to welcome you all. Thank you very much for this opportunity. We don't take it for granted at all. Thank you very much. So, Sister Sandra, you can take it over from me.
Thank you.
The French members also, we welcome you. French members, Francophone people from there. Yeah, we welcome you all. Yeah, Sister Sandra, you can take over.
Thank you, Israel. Good evening once again. I welcome all of you to our first online masterclass on mastering the art of research writing techniques and best practices. It is a pleasure to have all of us here. The purpose of this academic gathering, is to provide researchers a comprehensive guidance on the writing process from a good introduction to a good conclusion. Through an interactive session, this meeting aims to enhance you and our research skills, equipping us with the knowledge on how to have the right structure of a good research paper or a good paper worthy of acceptance. I hope we all enjoy this program and also learn from it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, our affable Sister Sandra, for the wonderful presentation on the purpose of gathering. Yeah, as your moderator for tonight, my role is to facilitate the flow of the seminar. Please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. If you have anything at all you need clarity on moving forward, I'm your moderator for tonight, and my name is Louis Kwame Anani. I heard there are other countries, people from other countries on board, and I think this is a very good sign. And I would like to use this opportunity to acknowledge all the countries, present, countries, African countries present that are in here to join hands with Ghana, National Union of Ghana Students Association. You're all welcome. So a quick one. I would like to introduce our speaker for tonight, and we'll take his profile. So please kindly listen abruptly. Our speaker for tonight is Professor Bright Akwasi Gyamfi. He's an esteemed associate professor specializing in sustainable finance at India's Padampat Singhania University. Before embarking on his academic journey, he garnered invaluable experience in the banking sector, notably at Sechidumase Rural Bank Limited in Ghana, where he held roles ranging from deputy branch manager to head of credit. Also, he worked as a research associate at Istanbul Tikaret University, Turkey, during his PhD. His academic prowess culminated in a PhD in business administration, finance from Cyprus International University. His intensive research portfolio encompasses diverse areas, including climate finance, international trade, foreign direct investment, financial development, renewable energy, economic growth, and sustainability. Professor Bright Akwasi Gyamfi's scholarly contributions include over 80 plus published papers in esteemed journals such as Energy Economics, Renewable Energy, Journal of Environmental Management, Cleaner Production, Resources Policy, Sustainable Development, etc., etc. Notably, he has earned recognition among the top 2% of scientists globally by Elsevier and Stanford University, based on the assessment of the top 100,000 scientists using C-score. Beyond research, Professor Gyamfi impacts his knowledge as a visiting lecturer at INTI International University and colleges in Malaysia and Istanbul Journalism University in Turkey, contributing significantly to the academic community and shaping the future of sustainable finance. My good people of National Union of Ghana Students Association, all countries represented, I present to you Professor Bright Akwasi Gyamfi. Let us all welcome him with a hand of applause, and you can type in the message section. You're welcome, Professor. You're welcome, Professor. You're welcome, Professor. Let's all welcome our Professor. Let's welcome our Professor. And I would like to crave your indulgence that you take notes. Let's take notes. Please kindly pick your pen and your notebooks and take notes. This is not a listening only. This is not only a listening session, but it's a session that you take notes. So kindly take notes. Thank you very much. You're welcome, Professor.
Thank you very much, my brother. Am I audible, please? Can you hear me, please?
Yes, please, Prof, we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Israel. Is it Israel or Louis? Which one should I use? Is it Mr. Israel or Mr. Louis?
Prof, you are free to use any.
Okay, thank you. I thought I was coming to meet only my Ghanaian brothers, where we could change the language a little, the dialect a little, back to a local dialect, the key. But unfortunately, yesterday the person who called me wasn't able to speak Chi, so I thought it wise that Ghana is not only known for Chi or that can speaking. We have diverse ethnic groups in Ghana where there are Northerners, there are some Bulgarians, so I need to go back to this English language which we borrowed from the British. I welcome you all. I welcome you to this noble presentation. I think I will not take much of your time. I will not take much of your time. But after the presentation, if you want to link up, I'll leave my number and my emails with you. So if there's anything that you need more me to highlight more, then I can come back and highlight more. It seems now everybody wants to learn much about research, because now research is the order of the day. If you want to complete, if you want to finish everything, research is the order of the day. So from masters to PhD, you need to have a glimpse of publications, and you need to understand how to publish and other things. So it is important that the Ghana Union in India, because I'm in India, sorry, that's why I've mentioned India. The Ghana Union in China is organizing this thing, and whenever you're ready and want me to come and explain anything to you, I'll take my time to come and explain. Especially the econometrics. Those of you who are into econometrics, I don't know, most of you are from other parts, but other part of the area, that is the engineering aspect. I was asking how many of you are from the engineering and all that. So today I did everything to cover all the areas. But if those of you who are into this economics, finance, who wants us to do more of the econometrics, later on we can sit down and also link through and see how we can use the e-views and the status to also do most of the econometrics. So it is much important for us to learn something. I didn't really prepare anything, to be frank. I didn't prepare anything. Let me be sincere, I didn't prepare anything. I just prepared because whatever I'm coming to do, I think whatever I'm coming to do, it is all captured within some things. I will use more of the papers I've written and my own experience to explain. So if you think you want to see something, or if I say something and you did not hear, please feel free to either write back to me, or I'll pause in between for you to ask those questions, and contributions will be taken from each and every one of you. Whatever you can contribute to, you contribute, then the program will become very successful for all of us. My name is Gyamfi. As you know, I don't like using the doctor and the other things. I'm just bright. And because of research, I've been acknowledged a lot, and people are getting close to me. I have a lot of people I'm also talking to and training. So today we'll be doing structure of research paper. How to structure a research paper from abstract to conclusion. If there's anything anybody wants to ask before I start, you can ask before I go into whatever I want to say, please. Can I go on,
Prof?
Please?
Prof, I think you can go on with it, and when the need comes for us to ask the questions, we will let it flow, sir.
Okay. So, for a research paper, for a very good research paper, or every research paper has these areas: the abstract, the title, the authors, the abstract, the keywords, the introduction. Some people, some of the areas don't really write literature review, especially the finance and some of the engineering papers. Some people add the literature review to the introduction. Some people also separate the introduction from the literature review and write it in a way. We have them. Then we come to the methodology, the method that you used, the results that you obtain from your analysis. Either it is a lab analysis, or you are using empirical, or whatever analysis that you are using. You put the results there, then you discuss it, the discussion, the conclusion, and the reference. So all these areas are to be broken down into other pieces. So let's start with the title. Let's start with the title. Or before you come to title, let's go to abstract first. Title, I mostly write title for my last after writing the whole paper. Then the title comes, because sometimes you may think, oh, I'm talking about, because I'm in finance and let's say energy, sustainable finance or climate finance. Most of my topics or most of the examples I will be using will be in that area. So whilst I'm talking, link it to the area that we are specializing. Are you engineering? Link whatever I'm saying to the engineering. Are you into marketing? Link whatever I'm saying into the marketing aspects, because we are not specializing here. We are just going, everybody's here. We're just going around. So as I said, for the topic, I mostly write a topic as the last aspect of everything. Sometimes you may even suggest a topic that you want to write, but at the end of everything, the topic may change based on the results, based on the outcome, based on the input, and even based on the on the contributions from other authors or the ideas you got from other authors on board. The topic may change. Do you understand? So let's put the topic aside a little. We will come back to the topic. So what is abstract? What is an abstract? An abstract depends on the whole idea, the entire paper that you are writing, summarizing the paper into about 20 minutes, 200 words, some 150 words, some 300 words. So an abstract is a summation of the whole, or summation of the entire paper you have written. An abstract is the summation of the entire paper that you have written. So if you are writing a paper, the abstract contains the introduction, why you are writing the paper. That is the motivation, a little motivation, where you obtain your data from. The kind of research you are doing. Is it lab research? Are you using secondary data? Are you using primary data? Are you using questionnaire? That is it. Those things should contain in the abstract. The key findings of the paper. The key findings of the paper. The key findings of the paper should also appear in the abstract. Then, lastly, a little I'm coming, please. A little conclusion of the abstract. So, is my paper visible to you, please? Hello?
Yes, please, Prof. It's visible.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So I guess I'll use most of the things that I've used for my abstracts, because it is what I've written, what I'm going to teach, or what I'm going to say. So after the abstract, I'll pause for questions, then we'll go to the introduction. So if you look at this paper, this is the entire abstract of the paper. This is the entire abstract of the paper. It contains about 200 words here. The topic of the paper is coalition, ecological footprint, and economic globalization after COP21. Insight from agri value added and natural resources.
Prof. Hello, Prof. Prof, please, we cannot see your paper.
You can't see.
Yes, please, we cannot see. We can see the PPT,
Okay.
but we can't see the paper.
Okay. Okay. That is what I was trying to say. So can you see now?
Yes, please, we can see now.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. That is what I was asking. So this is the topic: collecting the ecological footprint and economic globalization after 2021, COP 2021. Insight from agri value added and natural resource strengths in E7 economy. So you write a whole paper of about 15,000, 10,000 words, some 8,000 words, and they'll tell you to summarize everything, the whole, let's say, the whole paper into 200 words. There are some people who really don't have time to read the entire paper. The only thing they do is they look at the topic and read the abstracts, and they'll have to get the whole idea of whatever you have presented in your paper. So the abstract goes with, we have to summarize. So I said with abstracts, the first idea is about the motivation or the problem that you saw. So as I read, link it to the area that you are also doing your research. Please, I'm reading what I have here. So link it to the area where you are also doing your research. So if you take any paper, any research paper, I just want to break it down for you so that you understand research papers once you read them. It goes, whilst ecological footprint and resource utilization contribute to foster growth among nations, the Paris Convention adoption at COP21 has highlighted the immense environmental damage facing humanity in present. So the first one is the problem statement. You have to get a simple problem. Some people just go into this paper, do research into. It is accepted. This paper focus on, it is accepted. Some people also look at a little, they give a little background of what they are doing, which they give a little motivation to what they are doing. So therefore, when you go, this study assesses the link between ecological footprints and globalization among the E7 nations in the aftermath of COP27. Therefore, after giving the preface, then it gives what you are doing. So are you studying how marketing, how let's say how employees enhance organizational behavior, or how employees enhance organizational performance? You have to tell them the main idea you are writing on. After it, you have to give them where you got your data from. So the data will be we use the data from World Bank, use data from, because I had mastered in secondary data. So I use secondary data. You have to tell them the data, where you got the data from. Did you use questionnaire? Did you use interview? Did you use mixed method? Whatever process that you use in obtaining your data, you have to tell them. Then you have to tell them the method, the methodology, the techniques that you use. So in this area, we include dynamic ordinance least square, DLS, full modified least square, and a panel ALDL. We employed, these are the methods that we use to obtain the results that we got for this paper. Then after it, then you have to tell them the results. You have to summarize the results into about three, four lines. Therefore, the results shows that globalization and agri activities has whatever ecological footprint to determine the E7 environmental quality. The results further indicate that expansion of economic activities in the E7 has an increase in conventional energy consumption, that is oil, coal, and gas for electricity generation, thereby transmitting. So you have to give them your main results. What are the main areas that you are looking? What is the outcome, or what is the results of those areas that you are looking at? You have to give them this results. So summarize the entire results that you got into about 3-4 lines, put it there for them. Then after it, after summarizing, you have to give them a little policy. At least one policy, one simple policy, which could be used based on the results that you obtained. Please, is the abstract okay? If there's any question for the abstract before you go to the introduction, you can ask, please. We are more than 100. We are about 100 here. So I need people to talk, either to write or to talk.
Yeah. Hello, Prof.
Yes.
Yeah, I think there's an apportioned time for Q&A. So you can go ahead with your presentation. When we get there, they should write down their questions. When we get there, you can do the explanations. Yeah, thank you very much.
Then from the abstract, then the next area is the introduction. The next area that we need to go is the introduction. Please, I'm coming. Let me go back to my PPT. Please, is it visible now?
Yes, please.
Okay. I'm sorry I'm using so many things to explain because I need us to understand. So with introduction. So introduction, what is the concept for this project? How does this project fit in other research on the topic? What is your research questions? So the introduction is also divided into about 3-4 areas. The introduction of a research paper is divided into about 3 or 4 areas. Therefore, for the first area, you have to write something about problem, the problem statement. The problem statement is divided into 2 sessions. The first problem statement is the global problem statement. The first problem statement is the global problem statement. And the second problem statement is the area that you are doing your research. Are you doing your research in let's say, in Ghana? Let's say the health sector. Are you doing your research area? We people who use this secondary data, we mostly use it on country base, but some people can use it on firm base too. So are you doing your research in wherever you are doing your research? There are some problems that you have seen. So for you to carry out a research problem or research, you have to identify a problem. There should be a problem statement or a problem that you have seen. You've seen that the health sector in Ghana, although we have introduced this what is it, the free healthcare system in Ghana, but still, when you go to big hospitals like Kwalebu, like Comfort Teaching Hospital, like Sunyai Municipal Hospital, doctors are still using the cash and carry. That is a problem. So you want to do a research into it and see why this problem is occurring within our hospitals. You have to get answers for why it is occurring so that you can propose policies for it. That is a problem, a specific problem. You see that Ghana, we are borrowing too much. Every 6 years or every 4 years, every economy keeps on going to IMF for IMF bailouts. Our debt structure, our debt is increasing day in, day out. That is a problem that you've seen. You have to get a problem before you can
How
start.
about they say it is there? You can buy.
Hello, somebody's talking.
And I don't want to restart my computer.
Mr. Roland, you're talking to us, please.
Okay. From the computer.
Please, can everybody mute, please?
Please, can we all mute our mics?
And
then please, a quick one. Please, those who are finding difficult joining, I think we've been able to generate a Tencent ID. Please, we plead with you, just manage with a Tencent ID. And tomorrow, we will get a bigger or maybe a Zoom account with a maximum of more than 300 or more to use in tomorrow's activity. So please, we are pleading with you. All should try the Tencent ID for now. Thank you. Prof, please. And please, let's all mute our mics so that Prof can flow. Thank you. Prof, please, you can take over. Thank you.
Okay. So as I said, for the introduction, there are general problems. You see that now, for example, I'm using the problems in Ghana for us to get ideas of what we are saying. You see now when you go to Ghana, they are saying that they are coming to take environmental tax. What they call it electricity tax. It is something which has been introduced in US and in the big economies. Even when you go to Europe, most of the farmers are doing demonstration of. I saw, because I write in these areas, you can see people from France, from Ireland, from Netherlands, from German farmers who are demonstrating against this policy or this thing, because it is increasing the price of fuel. They are putting so much tax on the price of fuel, and it is affecting the farmers who are daily using the diesel and the petrol in their farm activities. So for you to start, or for you to write a paper, you should generate a problem. What is the problem that you want to research into? Is it do you want to research why the husbands die earlier than their wives? Do you want to do research into it? Do you want to do research into why ladies are always taking their husband to Antenna and Mama Efe? Do you want to do research into that area? There should be a preference. There should be something which is clicking, which is phenomenal, that you want to do research into. So the first one is, the first paragraph is you have to get the global perception or the global problem of why that incident or that thing is occurring. Then the next one or two paragraphs will be for the particular area. Are you doing for Ghana? Let's say your scale or your sample area. Are you doing for Ghana? Are you doing for a particular, let's say Kumasi? Are you doing for Accra? In Accra, what part are you doing it for? Are you doing it for only hospitals? Are you doing it for only teachers? Are you doing it for only drivers? There should be something which is clicking. That is one thing. Then after that, the most important area that I want us to talk about is the contribution of the study. The contribution of the study. That is the most important area, I say, for most papers are getting rejected. Most of my papers are getting rejected too, my brothers. Although I've published about 90, 93, 94 papers as of now. But I can tell you, most of my papers are getting rejected. So if you write a paper and you submit it and you get rejection, don't think you are the only person whose paper is getting rejection. All of us, our papers are getting rejection day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out. So please don't feel shy when your paper is getting rejected. Send it to a different journal, and those journals also you will send it until it gets published. That or get somebody who has a big name to add, or somebody who can contribute into it and who can help you get it published. After that, we will talk about all this thing. There's the contribution, or some people call it significance of the study. Some people call it contribution of the study. What are you contributing to the literature? Are you contributing new idea? Are you contributing new technology, new methodology? Or are you contribution based on, is a contribution based on the data that you are using, or the area that you are doing research? Although people have done research for different areas, but the area that you want to do your research in, or the area that you want to do your research, nobody has done his research there. So the contribution also comes in about 4 areas. Is it a methodological contribution? Methodology. So let's say, for example, I'm a econometrist. Do you understand? I do more of econometrist, more of the data analysis area. So let's take, for example, I've seen a paper for that paper, after reading, I saw the paper is very good, and I want to write, but I've seen that after reading a lot of papers on the same topic, they are all using a specific methodology, but there's a methodology which is new, which nobody has introduced or nobody has used for that particular research. I can write that, okay, my contribution to this study is that I am using a different methodology, which is different from, then you mentioned the papers which use previous methodologies. Let's take, for example, those who are in economics who understand me. Maybe you are using ALDL, or you are using fixed effect, or people use fixed effect and random effect in their paper, or GMM in their paper. But you saw that nobody have used, let's say, CS cross-sectional augmented decafula, CSALDL. Nobody has used that methodology. Or there are new methodologies like quantile ALDL, or quanta on quanta, or wavelet, which nobody has introduced that kind of methodology to see if it will still affirm the findings within the literature, or it will decrease, or it will not affirm the findings within the literature. So you can base on your methodology, you can base on methodology to contribute to the literature. Second one, you can base on theoretical framework, the theory. Based on theory. What kind of theory are you using? People are using different theory. But you think that, okay, if I should use this kind of theory, I can get the same outcome. You can also use a theoretical framework to get the same, to get something from the paper. Let me say it that way. Or you can use a date, the years which people started. After you reading, you saw that most people data ended in, let's say, 2022, or let's say 2018 or 2017. Most of the people who did research on the same topic, their data ended in 2015, 2016. By then, the organizations who produce data for us, who give us data, have not updated their data, so that the current data was not in place. But as soon as the current data comes in place, and the data, let's say the data ends now in 2021, you can say that, okay, based from the previous literature, we saw that the data, or the contribution data ended in 2015. But currently, I'm using the data which ends in 2022, which shows that based on the 5-year differences that you are getting from data, you will get a different results, and based on the different results that you get from the analysis, you give a different policy framework for the policymakers to base on the work to take decisions. So these are the important areas that I want to talk on when I say the contribution of the study. It is much important because that is the area that most people really base on to reject most of our papers, all the papers that we are writing. The main area which they base on to reject our paper is the contribution. So in this one, this paper says the present analysis contributes to the literature in several ways. First, the authors employ a novel cross-sectional dependency test to examine any likely split over economic effect in G7 economy. So this is a methodological contribution. Because from the analysis, we saw that most people did not use the cross-sectional dependency test to examine. So as we want to bring a new or a novel thing into the literature, we introduce that we are doing a cross-sectional dependency test. Furthermore, the current study revisits the analysis of EFC, ecological footprint impact, by considering clean energy, economic globalization, rare growth, and natural resources rent for E7 as potential factors, whilst using a data span from 1990 to 2029. So we also introduced new or different variables into the old variables which were used, because ecological footprint is an old variable. It's an old variable, but we introduce a new variable. So let's say, for example, if you are writing in finance, and you see that you see that people are doing something and they are using some variables, you can introduce one or two. You can add one or two variables which people have not added to their literature to add to your study with the same thing that they are doing. You can add one or two variables to it, analyze it, and you will get a different results. So people were using ecological footprint already, but we considered clean energy, economic globalization. We introduced new variable into the system, which makes it different from what others have published already. That is one thing that I just want us to see. Then the analysis also examine the fundamental factors that influence achievement of sustainable development goals from environmental perspective by emphasizing the decrease in the steps. This is not that much important. This explains everything. So the main idea of everything was based on data. The main contribution of this paper was based on data, because the old data, most data were based on were ended in 2015, 2014, 2013. So when we got data which was ending in 2019, we said hallelujah. Then we can write something for them which shows that our data has been extended. So based on the extension of data, we could use that as a basis. Then we also saw that, okay, we are also based on cross-sectional dependency. What is a cross-sectional dependency? Those in economics. Because we are not economists, that's why I don't want to explain much. I don't want to go into much econometrical terms. Cross-sectional dependency is a panel data where you're not using a single country, but you're using more than two countries or two firms to do analysis. For this one, if the econometrist people brings me back for DS for them alone, I could explain more into these areas. So, as I've explained, the contribution of the study is much important. For when your paper goes to, I'm also an editor for one SSCI paper, Environment, Sustainable and Development. And there's one paper to have forgotten, but let's go on. Those about 3 papers I'm editors there. When your paper comes to us, the first thing that they have told us to read your abstract and read your contribution. Does your contribution make sense? So when your papers are being rejected, they always say that the paper is not novel. The reason why they tell us the papers are not novel is that your contributions have been given by different papers. So find a way to think around the box to bring out a different contribution. That is what I am trying to say. So the point is, the only way is to read more on the topic that you want to do research on. Don't just based on somebody's work that you see online, just one paper online. Then based on just one paper online, then you said, okay, you tell yourself, I can write, let me also write. You need to read about 20, 30 papers on the same topic. Construct a new thing. What people are not doing. Bring that thing in your paper and your paper will sell. That is all about the introduction. Then you summarize the whole thing. This one I think everybody can do. You summarize the whole introduction into sessions. This paper talks about the introduction, which is the first session. Second session is literature review. The third session is data analysis and methodology. The fourth session handles the discussion, and the fifth session handles the conclusion and policy implication, policy recommendation, policy framework. For this area, I think any of us can do. So the main areas that I've talked about the hypothesis is also much important. I think tomorrow the person who will be talking about literature review will talk much about the hypothesis development, because it's based on the literature review that we use in developing hypothesis, and it's based on the hypothesis that we use in writing the literature review. So the person who will talk about, I know Dr. Michael will talk about the literature review. So the next aspect is literature review. And for literature review, you will handle it tomorrow. So let me move on. Let me move on to data and methodology. Data and that's the third session. Data and methodology. For data and methodology is also important, because for this area, you have to tell everybody where you got your data from. Where did you get your data from? Is it a questionnaire? Which type of research are you doing? Are you doing empirical research? Are you doing qualitative or quantitative? Which research are you do you want to do, or are you doing? So for this one, we said the current study aims at investigating the dynamic relationship between economic globalization and economic footprint, whilst considering the role of aggregate value added and natural resource growth among G7 economies, as listed in table A2 in the appendix. For the purpose of this study, this study employed the panel data stream from 1990 to 2019. Data on aggregate value added, that is constant 2020 to whatever, where GDP, renewable energy, economic globalization, and natural resource growth and ecological footprint are sourced from the World Development Index. The World Development Index. So for here, for the data description, the only thing that you do here is to tell everybody where you got your data from. There are some research which are mixed. So there are some research which are both questionnaire and interviews. So you tell them, where did you get your data from? How many of them are questionnaires? How many of them did you obtain from interview? There are some which it is purely interview, which are newspaper reviews or literature review, the reviews. There are some which are reviews. You use only reviews based on the publications in the news, publications here, publications there. Tell them where you got your data from. Be specific and go straight to the point. Don't write too much there. Tell them where you got your data from. The data was taken from World Bank. The data was taken from IMF. The data was taken from African Development Bank. The data was taken from Bank of Ghana. The data was taken from the various 5 banks or various banks, EcoBank, GCB, whatever bank that you are using. That is where you got your data from. So be specific. The data was taken from the statistical data from China. The data was taken from wherever you take the data, wherever you get your data from. And even there are some individuals who are also generating data, especially the index data. There are some individuals who are generating data, which has been accepted. So if you get the data from a specific individual, stated we got it from, let's say, Gyamfi, Etel, or let's say Michael Apia, 2022. That is where you got your data from. Therefore, tell people where you got your data from. If you don't tell them, then it means you are manipulating, or you are constructing your own data, or you want to create your own data for the analysis, which nobody will accept. So tell people where you got your data from. Then you come to the methodology. What kind of method? So this is how the data is being obtained. So GDP is taken from WDI, World Bank. Agri value added is taken from World Bank. Renewable energy is taken from British Petroleum. Ecological footprint is taken from the Swiss. Is this Swiss data? KOF is an individual data, which is this is the link. Total natural resource rent is taken from World Bank. And electricity production from oil, gas, clean energy is taken from World Bank. And ecological footprint is taken from GFN, Global Footprint Network. This is the name, Global Footprint. And all the data streams, the links should be provided. If you can provide, fine. If you can't provide it, then leave it. If you can provide the links, so far as you have mentioned that you got this data from this data stream, it is okay. It is very, very okay. Then we come to the methodology, the method and methodology. What kind of methodology are you using? What kind of methodology are you using? So this is pure econometrics. This one is pure econometrics, and I don't want to bubble your head with a lot of econometrics and economic activities. So with whatever data, whatever analysis or whatever research that you want to, there is a method that you use. The method is what kind of analysis that you are using to run your data. I think it's I'm making sense. What kind of analysis? That is the method. What kind of methodology are you using? So with this data, we use the OLX and DOLX and the ALGL. That is what we use the whole of this one. So you have to know the kind of method that you want to apply in your analysis. What kind of method are you using? If you see that you want to use a specific method for your analysis, read on that methodology, create something, write something on it, and write something on the methodology. That this is the method you want to use. The reason why, the benefit of that method. Why are you using that method? What makes that method unique, important than the other method which people have already used? So you need to tell them that method you are using. If there are equations like what I've done, write all the equations down, explain the equations. If there are equations like this, and find papers which can help you explain the equations. Explain everything, every equation which you bring there, explain them. Then after it, you need to tell them who used it first. Tell them the importance of that method. You need to tell people why they should consider that method, and that method, the advantages of that method. Because we were talking about cross-sectional dependency, we were talking about the homogeneity of the paper. That is why we use the ALDL, because it's able to take care of the cross-sectional dependency. ALDL PMG, that's the pool mean group ALDL. Because it is able to take care of homogeneity, or is able to cater for cross-sectional dependency. And I said, those of you who are econometrists, if you come and you want me to explain more into econometrics, then I'll come back to explain more into econometrics. So as I said, write something on the methodology. If there are equations, bring all the equations, explain the equations. Tell them who proposed that methodology. If it has been updated, tell them maybe this person proposed, this person initiated this methodology in, let's say, 1990. But in 2020, this person updated the method into an advanced area. That is why we are using this, we are using it. And it is able to cater for this, and this. You need to convince, because this is a paper publications like sorry, it's like convincing a lady wants to marry. You need to tell the lady why the lady should choose you, but not other people. That is how you need to convince the editors and the peer reviewers why they should accept your paper. Therefore, you need to write it in a sugar-coated way. You need to write it in the sugar-coated way so that when the person reads the paper, the person will get, okay, this is why we are using this method. This is why you are using this method. Then the fourth session is the results and discussion. The results and discussion. Sorry, the results and discussion. The result is the outcome that the result is the outcome after performing the analysis. After performing the analysis, the outcome that you obtain is the results. So there are a lot of statistical tools that we use now. Some use SPSS, some use AMOS, some use PLX, some use Stata, some use eViews, some use R, some use even Excel, some use what again? Python. There are a lot of statistical tools which everybody has its own statistical tools that they use. Do you understand? Me, I use eViews and Stata. That is what I do, and that's what I use. So depending on your area, every area has its own statistical tools which they use. Those in the management and those in the HR and those people who use more of the questionnaire area, they use more of the AMOS, the PLX, and the SPSS. The engineers have their own methods that they use. The sciences, the laboratories have their own methods that they use. Every individual have their own method that they use. But the thing is, we are doing a generalization of everything. So after putting your data into this tool and clicking on it to give you the outcome, you have to present the outcome and write something on the outcome. You have to present it in the paper and write something on the outcome. For example, these are the preliminary analysis. For example, I'm coming. The ALDL. Okay, sorry. The PMG ALDL. This is economic globalization. We saw that economic globalization increases or it increases pollution. Economic globalization increases pollution. You need to give them why it increased pollution and also back it with literature. People who have obtained the same outcome as you obtained. And what is the reason why that thing has happened within that economy? You can't just come and say, because I've done this, I've gotten this outcome there. That is all. After getting every outcome, you need to discuss the outcome. That is what I'm trying to say. Discuss the outcome. Tell them, give literatures to back your outcome. If you got negative, if this became negative, my whole narration and my write-up will be different from it becoming, there's no negative sign here, so it is positive. So I need to give reasons why it is happening within the E7 economy. Within the E7, because globalization, when you say globalization, we all know economic globalization is whereby countries are able to trade among. When you say globalization, it's the same as trade or it's similar to trade, whereby countries within the E7 or within the countries which I'm doing research on is able to trade among themselves. So it means that as countries trade among themselves, as countries gives a lot of things among themselves, then it increases pollution within these economies. You need to tell them the reason why it is happening so. You need, because it is, and you can get this idea only and only when you read more, or else you find one thing, or else you write the paper and you tell people, oh, I've written the paper and the paper is very good, but I'm not getting people to publish the paper for me. So for the discussion too, every aspect of the discussion, you need a backup to it. And you need to write and give reasons why it is happening so. For example, I'm coming. Okay. However, the positive influence, for example, the estimation model shows that economic globalization is not significant, statistically significant in the short term. However, a positive influence is recorded in the long run at 1% significant level. A 1% rise in economic globalization will increase ecological footprint by. This implies that economic globalization is a major drive of deepening environmental quality experience in the E7. Therefore, economic interdependence among E7 countries need to be managed in such a way that it does not include environmental degradation. The resource is constant with others of the whatever. Then you give people who have also written a paper similar to this and have gotten the same outcome. Sorry, let me go back. And they have gotten the same outcome. So it is mostly important for you to write or for you to give justification to why that outcome happened. If you can't give justification, nobody will accept your paper. So for every paper or every resource you obtained, for every resource you obtain from all the analysis that you do, you need to give justification to why it is happening so. And you need to give citation, or you need to give references to other people who have either affirmed your results or have rejected your results. So the more you read papers like this, the more you understand. The only way you can be this perfect is whereby you read much papers. When you read much papers, you understand the whole system very well, and it will help you to give insight into whatever you are doing. So that is the discussion. So what I've said about the discussion is whatever area that you're writing, you need to get data, run the data, present the outcome. And based on the outcome from the results that you've obtained, you need to discuss it. You need to tell them why it is happening so. You need to give them a justification to why it is happening. And you need to give references to that justification, that what you obtain, others are also obtain it. That's the simplest way to explain the discussion. If the questions will allow us to go into detail, or if there's anything, it will allow us to go into detail. Then we come to the conclusion, the last aspect of the paper. Sorry. The conclusion also summarizes the entire paper. So the conclusion is a little bit similar to the abstract. In the introduction of the conclusion, you need to summarize whatever you have obtained, or you need to summarize everything in the paper into about 5, 6, 7 lines. You give them the variables that you use, you give them the methodology that you use, you give them the outcome of the methodology. For here, you not discuss, you not write into detail. You just give them, okay, this was positive, this helped this increased this decreased this. So you just need to give them just the summary of your outcome. Then based on the summary, you give them your policy recommendation. You don't create policy recommendation from the moon, my brothers and sisters. The policies and recommendations are created based on the outcome. And sometimes there are some policies. Some of us who does research. When you see that, okay, somebody did the same paper as I'm doing, and the person did it with did it in, let's say, German or US or UK or any of the advanced countries. Then when I'm replicating the same idea in, let's say, Ghana or Nigeria, then I want to use the same policy. It is not possible because the economy, the German or the US economy is different from the Ghanaian economy. So I remember when I was defending my thesis, one of my professors told me, right, you are writing very well, but why is it that all the policies, these policies will not work in Africa? Because Africa, we have our own terrain, we have our own economy, we have our own ideas. So for example, the ideas that, when you write something, when you do research in, let's say, Kumasi, the policies that you propose in Kumasi should be different from policies that you propose in Accra. Because the Kumasi economy is different from the Accra economy. The Kumasi economy is a funeral economy. I'm sorry for my Ashanti, but I'm Ashanti. I'm sorry for my Ashanti guys. We the Ashanti, we understand ourselves. The Kumasi economy is different from the Accra economy. The Kumasi economy is different from the whole economy. Because Botanians have their culture, they have their way they live, they have everything. It is the same way that I'm saying that even Ghana and Nigeria, although we have a lot of similarities among ourselves, but the policies that you propose should be a policy which can help the economy of Ghana to improve. It shouldn't be a policy which, because everybody's writing, you also want to write. You need a policy based on the outcome, number one, and based on the research area that you are doing. I think I am done. If there's so, I'll leave. I've really explained most of the things that I want to explain in a short way. The questions will also help me to go into detail more. If there's any question, then you can bring it on point so that we can help ourselves and call it a day. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you. Hello? Hello?
Yes, hello, Professor.
Yeah.
Hello, Doc.
I'm done. So
yeah, hello, Prof.
Yeah. So if there are any questions, you can bring it on board so that we can.
Thank you. All right, Prof. Thank you very much for the wonderful presentation. Yeah. So, in the spirit of appreciation, please kindly type that, Prof. We thank you. Thank you so much. This was very educative. Yeah. So, quickly we move on to the Q&A. Please, if you have any question, you can.
Please mute yourself.
How can I ask questions, please?
Bernard here.
Yeah. So if you have a question, please prioritize clarity and precision in your questions. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So Bernard,
I have a question.
You can go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so Prof, for a research to be furthered or to be carried upon, there needs to be what usually we call limitations. Now, technically, how many limitations must one leave in a research work? so that it doesn't look as if you are exposing yourself too much? Thank you.
For the limitations, I think it also depends on what. Am I audible, please?
Yes, yes.
Yes,
okay.
Yes, please. No. Yes, please.
For the limitations, also depends on what you're doing. Do you understand? If you write so much limitations, if you write so much, people will base on it and reject it. If you don't also write, they will base on it to also reject the paper. So you have to be smart enough to draft your limitation in the way that it will not affect what you have produced. Because it's like you shooting yourself. The limitation is like you shooting your own self. If you, after writing everything that you give people the chance to create very well or very much, then it becomes a problem for you. At least you should get about 2-3 limitations. Do you understand? But don't write too much limitation. Don't give them too much for them to be something to reject the paper. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. And then the last one. Usually in academia, you'll be required to identify a problem from a research paper.
Okay.
For all the interactions that I've had. So you'll be required to identify a problem from a research paper. However, sometimes in industry, you realize that there are very clear problems which probably have not been researched or which are yet to be ventured into. Now, how can one bring those problems from industry and capture it in such a way that though those problems do not exist in published papers as gaps or limitations, they are relevant to be studied? How can that be done?
Okay, if you want me, it seems somebody's mic is making so much noise. So those of you who have on your mic, please can you switch it off for us? The echo is too much, as Coco said. Okay, so for the industry, most of the papers that they write, we call it working paper. They although they write papers and give them, they give papers out, but mostly they do something called working paper, because as they are working, they can see some problem that they want to do much research on. So people who are doing much research, people who are working at IMF, people who are working at World Bank, you can see papers which they have written on top working paper. All those, most of those papers are from the industry. It is based on the problem that they have seen within the area that they are working, which they want to share. So for them, when the papers go, they go to specific, or they go to experts in those areas to study whether those papers are originally they'll make contribution to the economy. And based on those working papers, people can refer to those papers and also do research into that area. I think I've answered the question. So for them, they mostly write working paper or working projects. Whilst they are working, let's say Bank of Ghana sent you to, let's say, some commercial banks to do auditing. Whilst you are doing auditing, you've encountered a specific problem which people have not really researched into. So if you want to do research on, people will say you don't have literature to back it. So you can name it as a working paper. Once you submit it to journals, journals will give to the experts within that field. If it is banking, they will give to experts. They will not give to just peer reviewers. They will give to experts within that field for them to do much into it. And when they publish it on their online, then yours has become the original idea, which people can refer to whatever you're doing to also write papers on. Thank you.
Okay, can I ask a question, please?
No. Okay.
Yeah, okay, so the next person can go ahead and ask.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity. Prof, thank you very much for your wonderful presentation. Please, I want to ask, what is the distinctive difference between an abstract and a conclusion? Because you said that they are similar. And what is this policy? Does this policy suggestion, does the policy refer to the medical field as well? Because I'm into the medical field and I don't know where if it applies or not. Thank you.
Okay, for the abstract and conclusion, you know, for the conclusion, it has introduction of a conclusion. As I said, it has introduction of the conclusion, policy recommendation, limitations, and future studies. The conclusion is divided into three: the introduction, the policy recommendation or policy framework or policy implementations, and limitations and future proposal for future studies. So for the introduction of the for conclusion is much similar to the abstract, because all those areas all summarizes the entire paper or the entire idea or whatever you are writing on. Therefore, for the introduction itself, it just gives the introduction of the conclusion is much similar to the abstract. There are some papers that you find people even become smart. Whatever they write in the abstract, you see most of those words in the conclusion. You see them in the conclusion, or they will just paraphrase it in a nice way, and it makes the same sense. Nobody will do anything. But the conclusion has a detailed policy recommendation. But abstract had just a similar, a simple, just 2-3 lines policy recommendation. But the conclusion had a detailed policy recommendation based on each variable that you choose, based on the outcome from the results that you obtained. Then after getting these policies, so for the conclusion, you can get about, some people can give you empirical recommendation and theoretical recommendation or practical recommendation. There are some, especially the finance areas, they give practical recommendations and also those they are divided even the recommendations into areas. So based on that, you give detailed recommendations that you have to give to the people. So for policymakers, when they look at the outcome, the next place that they go is the policies that you recommended for them to see if the policies are working. That is why China has given most of you scholarship to go and study in China, and all the schools are telling you to publish before you leave. And one thing I know about the Chinese is whatever most of you the professors force you to do your research in China or in countries where you find China activities in, so that the policy will be used by the Chinese government. It is we the Africans where we write papers and we don't have agencies who take the papers and read them and take policies. But policies from papers are much important. So the difference is the abstract is only the summary, but for the conclusion, the introduction is a little bit similar to the abstract, but it gives detailed policy recommendation for the policymakers. Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah, hello, Doc.
Hello, Prof.
Hello.
Okay. A lot of people are making ask a question.
Hello. Can I ask my question?
Mr. Moderator.
No, you can go ahead. Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay. Professor, thank you very much. I must say, this is a wonderful presentation from you, and I've learned a lot of things today, courtesy of you. I have 3 questions to ask. Very important questions.
Kindly make it precise.
Yeah. Okay. One of it is that some of us are writing our proposals. I want to know the limitation in proposal writing. What are the exact limitations for proposal writing? That is question number 1. And then after writing your literature review, mentioning a lot of writers, I want to know, is there any reason for us to mention, for example, a gap, a research gap wherein what they failed to mention under the literature review? Then coming back to chapter 4, which is the results and discussion. After mentioning your methods you'll be using in chapter 3, I want to know, is there any way we can mention the variables we are using? Of course, we are to mention where we get the data from, whether World Bank or what. Then I want to know whether we are to mention the variables, both dependent and independent variables, and if possible, run 1 or 2 regressions on those variables in chapter 4 for us writing our proposals. Thank you very much.
Okay, so
thank you.
all your question is based on the proposal, right? Most of the question is based because maybe you're writing a proposal. So for proposal, you are just proposing. For proposal, you don't run analysis. That is what I know. So the first one is for proposals, we don't run analysis. For proposal is your idea, what you intend doing. That is for proposal. That is what you intend doing. So you can even choose some variables. But later on, after running and present it in your proposal, but after once you go into the main writing and you run them, you see that these variables will not work for you. You can change it. Do you understand? And I will not talk about the literature review because tomorrow the next person will go detail into literature review. It is important to write literature gap. That is the gap that you saw. The literature gap is what you see. The literature gap is what you see in the literature. So the person who will be talking about, sorry, I was distracted by somebody who wrote something. The literature gap is what you see. So the person who will be taking the literature will talk much about the literature review. So I entice all of you to also attend tomorrow's program. And the second one is for the variables. All variables are to be written at the data because it is the variables. It is based on the variables that you tell them where you obtain it from. You can't just say, I took all the variables from this place. That is not all. So all variables must be in chapter 3, the data source. For example, I took GDP from World Bank. I took inflation from World Bank. I took, let's say, whatever data that you are working on. You need to state it in your paper in the chapter 3. Okay. Or else if you don't state the data, if you don't state the variable there, and you use it, it means you are bringing something outside your research into the paper, which some person can base on it to reject it. Nowadays, a lot of people are writing, so reviewers are becoming very strict, very, very strict. And if you do something a little problem, they will base on that one to reject it. So be very careful in whatever you are doing. Somebody asked of my email, I will give my email address. I will send it to the person who contacted me, and the person will send it to every person. Or I can still write it here. Where is the next person can?
Yeah, the next person can go ahead and ask the question.
Hello, Prof.
Hello.
Thank you for the presentation. Hello, Prof.
Yes, I'm there, please. You can go on.
Oh, okay, thank you so much. Yeah, my question is about 3 based on the sections. So the first one is on the introduction, the introductory part. So let's say you're writing an article and then the introduction has to be in 4 paragraphs, or let's say 4 sections. So based on the paper you were showing us, what would be your advice in structuring the introduction? Like maybe we talk about a little bit of a background of the issue, and then we go to the problem statement. So I just want to know from your end, your best advice on structuring your introduction into 4 paragraphs.
Okay, the introduction, right? Okay, for the introduction. To me, this is how I structure my introduction. Do you understand? The first one is I base on the global perspective of whatever I'm writing on. The global perspective of whatever I'm writing on. That is the first thing I write. Then I come back to the problem statement. Do you understand? I come to the problem statement. Then the problem should be, you should have, the problem is, okay, let me start. The first one, you have to introduce whatever you're writing. That's the global introduction of whatever you're doing. That's the global. Then you come to the problem statement. The problem statement is divided into two. The first one is the global problem, and the specific problem, the area that you are doing your research. That is the problem statement. Then you can bring in your research questions. Some people bring in research questions. Some people take the research questions to the literature review. That's why I didn't want to talk about research questions. Some people bring research questions there based on the problem. After the problem statement, then they bring research questions. Therefore, we ask this question. But some people also talk about the research questions in the literature review. Then from the research questions, then you go to the contribution of the study or significance of the study. Then from there, then some people go to the organization of the entire paper. This paper is made up of 5 chapters, where chapter 1 talks about introduction, chapter 2 talks about literature review, chapter 3 talks about methodology and whatever, chapter 4 discussion, chapter 5 conclusion, policy recommendation. Then you are done. Some people, even nowadays, most of us see that area is becoming like a similarity gap, because we are all writing the same thing. So mostly it is getting a lot of similarity. So most of us are not even talking about that structure, the paper structure itself. Do you understand? So after the contribution, they just move straight to the literature review.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. So my question, like a follow-up clarification is, let's say you mentioned borrowing, let's say debt trap in maybe Africa.
Okay.
So we are trying to study the impact of, let's say, debt on economic growth.
Okay.
So we start by saying that globally, countries are borrowing, maybe developing economies are borrowing every year, and then that'll be the global stage. Is that okay?
No, Mr. Emmanuel, I'll get my number from the guy, then we'll talk much about it. Okay. So
okay,
let's not waste much time, because I know you want to construct an idea. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So far as you're all Ghanaians, whatever you will get my number from the organizers, and when you call, we will talk much into it.
Okay. Thank you so much. Then I'll end the questions. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. So the next person can ask your question. You can unmute and ask your question.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, please introduce yourself. Please introduce yourself and ask your question. Yeah, you can introduce yourself and ask your question. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Professor. Hello. I'm George Yantechi. Please, can I be heard?
Yeah, you can talk. You can talk, Mr. Yantechi.
Okay. Professor, I would want to ask this quick question concerning the introduction.
Okay.
Ideally, I've had several experiences where we are advised to make the introduction as brief as possible. But recently, I got a comment from an editor instructing me to write a 5-page introduction. So I would want to know how you can talk about that for me.
Yeah, those things also depend on the editor the handling editor or the reviewers. Some, like you can get when you submit a paper to a journal and the review comment comes, maybe there are about 3 reviewers. 2 people can tell you to reduce the introduction. 1 person can tell you the introduction is very small and you need to expand the introduction. It is likely, it is very okay, but you just need to be smart and find a way. Is it the editor himself who asks you to to expand the introduction, or the reviewers?
Yeah, he's the editor, and he instructed I added a background section again. So the introduction was supposed to be 5 pages minimum, and background also 3 pages. So making 8 pages in total, even before I moved to the literature section.
Okay, for that one, I could advise that you could tell him that you are combining the introduction and literature review together. Then you just leave the theoretical framework or conceptual framework alone. Then take off the literature review, so that the work will not be so much. Do you understand?
Yes, please.
For them, they are the owners. Without them, there's no way you can publish. So whatever they tell you, please do it for them. That is what they need. If not for them, I would have told you make your introduction a little bit simple. At least your introduction should be 2-3 pages. It's okay. But if the editor tells you that you should increase your introduction, since you want to publish, please do it for them. Or else send it to a different journal. If you are not okay with it, find a different journal and send it. But I advise you to do whatever he says to please him. That is what I can say.
Okay, Prof. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. The
Yes,
next
sir.
person. Yeah, you can
Yeah,
go ahead.
Mine is not a question, but some little adapt to what Prof has been saying.
Okay.
We are all writing, and we learn from each other as Prof.
Your name, please, and where you are calling from. Your name.
My name is Derek.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Derek Jinjan.
Kofi Dubai.
Dubai. Sorry, Dubai.
Kofi Dubai.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, as Prof has elaborated on how, and it's a very good presentation. Prof, thank you.
You're welcome.
Prof gave a suggestion on the limitation. One thing I know about the limitation, and I had in my paper, one of my papers rejected because of limitation. Why? Because I stated a very critical limitation of the paper. And he based on that to reject my work. An editor rejected my work. He says, this is a major issue, and that you should have even solved it before listing it as what? As a limitation, right? So in giving out limitations, let me start from there. In giving out limitations, we shouldn't go so much deep into the problems of our work, or most of the time we get our works rejected. Yes, I have issues with editors like that. They got my work rejected, all because I gave the real problem of my work. And they said, no, if you know this is the problem of your work, you should have solved it even before bringing it to us, right? So we also have to be a little circumspective when we are writing our limitations. Okay, on the abstract, mostly we should not forget about the number of words that we have to cover, because some editors and some journals reject works. I know Prof, I've read all some of his papers, and he has published in top quality journals, and he knows that in these top quality journals, they take delight in some small mistake that you do, and they reject your paper. Especially some, they say 20 words, and when you give 21 or 22, they will base on that to reject your work. And Prof is aware that some of his works are even rejected just on a mere grounds, but it is being rejected. So as and when we submit our works, we have to go by the guidelines, the strict guidelines about what the journal wants, and what they demand, and what you have to give it to them. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. As I said earlier, it's like buying a gun and giving it to your enemy. when you give this bad limitation, buy a gun and give it to your enemy. There's no way your enemy will not kill you. So when you know, for at first, before COVID, most people were not interested in writing. But since COVID came and now there's a visual teaching, and most teachers are sitting at their houses and they are teaching online. So they are getting time to write. So for now, most for every journal, if like I submitted a paper to one top journal just last January, and my paper was about 1,200 within 1 month. My paper number was about 1,200. It shows that people are writing every day. And these papers cannot publish every paper which comes there. These journals cannot publish every paper which comes there. So they always find a simple way, a small way to reject a paper. Therefore, don't give them the chance to reject a paper. Take critical or take much interest in your abstract. Know how to construct your topic. Let your topic be as sexy as your girlfriend or as your boyfriend. The topic, it should be very sexy. Number two, find a way to add a lot of spices to your abstract. Because editors don't read the entire paper. They just look at the topic of your paper, they read the abstract, and sometimes the contribution. These are the only three things that editors look at. And based on it, they'll tell you, oh, your paper, there's no novel. It's a simple thing which people are using to reject papers. So make sure that your topic and your abstracts are very spicy. The next question, if there is.
Yeah, Doc.
Yeah, hello, Prof.
Yeah, I would like to ask this question.
My name is Michael.
Michael. Okay, Michael, you go ahead. Michael, go ahead. Michael, go ahead.
All right. I'm Michael from Xi'an. Yeah. Prof, please, when I just want to ask a question about setting up econometrics models, mainly the initial model when maybe you want to
Michael,
carry
give
out
me my number.
a normal.
Mike, please, I'm giving my number and my WhatsApp number. So please, my WhatsApp number and for econometrists, meet me there, okay? Because most of these people are not, I know it's not everybody who is econometrist. If you talk much of econometrists, then you are making them like, just like when the medical person is coming to talk about medicine, you yourself don't understand anything. So I'm giving my number here. It's a WhatsApp number. You can call me anytime when we scheduled a meeting, then we talk about econometrics. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Prof, I think I need to take a bite on the question. In this age, okay, I find it, I realize that a lot of people are using AI in writing their project work. I was expecting you to touch on, the importance, like where we are now, whether the use of AI in writing, our research work is very important to students. How relevant is it? Is it good for students to use AI? And at what point do you think students should use it?
It's a tricky question. It's a very tricky question, my brother. Depending on your English competence, depending on how good you are, you can even use AI and paraphrase it yourself. Do you understand? Some people use AI and paraphrase it. Some people use other tools and paraphrase it themselves. AI is not bad. I wouldn't say it's bad, but don't let it be like that is all you know. Please, was I able to answer?
Hello, Prof.
Hello, Prof.
Yes.
Sorry, on the AI thing, I just wanted to clarify. Like you said, it's okay to use AI and then you paraphrase it ourselves. Is it as in using AI to generate text for the manuscript, or maybe using AI to better understand, or maybe let's say you need a command for stata and then you ask AI for it, or maybe you want AI to explain to you if your data has some problem, let's say endogeneity problem, what models can be used to solve it. Or in essence, we can use AI to generate, let's say, introduction of our study, and then we paraphrase it ourselves.
To be frank, I don't know much about the AI, my brother.
Okay.
I don't know much about the AI, so I don't know much about the AI. I am the old school type where I read papers and use my own idea to summarize. I have my Dr. Michael here. We are old school type. It is you guys who are really using the AI, because I don't know much about this kind of thing. So please don't put, and you know, people are using the AI, and when you go to LinkedIn and other places, others are also saying that their papers are being rejected because editors are telling them they are using AI. So AI is good, but once you are using it, we should be careful the limits or the maximum you use it. Find a way to also add your own input, and the AI will be a supplement to whatever you're doing. That is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Prof, okay, like you said, is it
Hello.
you're the old
Yeah,
school?
go ahead and ask your question.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm Kels from Changsha. Prof said that he goes the serious students way.
Traditional way. Yeah, traditional way of doing the research.
The AI is for the lazy student. Okay, so is there any criteria, like with so far with the journals that you're working with, is there any criteria for which maybe they say if you have this number of because there are apps that actually detect AI now. So is there anything that they say if there's this percentage of AI detected in your work, it should be rejected? Or because like you said, AI, if it's too much, it can be rejected. So how can we blend it? If anyone,
to be frank,
yeah.
To be frank, I don't really know. I tell you, I don't really know much about AI. I'm just reading from the social media about AI and its activity. Do you understand? About AI and its activity. So all that I'm trying to say is let's be careful on how we use the AI.
Understood. Thank you very much.
Yeah, next question. Hello.
Oh, okay. Hello. I'm Anita from Sichuan. I want to ask a question concerning a proposal writing. In my school, when you are writing your proposal, you have to add the innovation of the study. So sometimes it confuses me. Can I write the innovation of the study by adding the models that I have been used, or the models that are used as a way of like the innovative of the study?
The innovation is the same as the significance or the contribution of the study. Some people, everybody has a different way of saying it.
All right.
I think it is up to how the school, you know, every school has its own proposal, how to structure a proposal. Do you understand? But if you add the models and everything, that this is the models that I'm using, and why you are using that model should be stated, because maybe you are creating a different model from what others have done. Do you understand? So if it is that way, that you are creating a different model, which is very innovative to what have been stated in the literature, then I think it's good for you to state it, and we all come on board to learn from you, my dear.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, next question. Next question, please.
Hello, Prof. This is Bernard again. I want to find out, please, what's the name of the journals that you mentioned you are working for? And what is the
Bernard, don't send everybody.
And what is the domain that they are interested in?
Bernard, don't send everybody.
Bernard wants to tap, eh, Bernard?
Bernard, the point is, I can give the names to you, but there are a lot of editors on board, and it is the responsibility of the editor-in-chief to assign the paper to any of the editors. So you might even submit your paper there, and the paper might not come to me. Do you understand? So
that's well noted.
I can give the paper to you, but at least is one is environmental development and sustainability.
Okay.
Environmental development and sustainability, and International Journal of Sustainable Development and World Ecology.
Okay. Thank you very much, Prof. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Prof.
Yeah. Please, let me hasten to add. Let me hasten to add. Bernard, Prof too, after reading his profile, he is sometimes also selected as a guest editor for some special issues. So you can be following him. And if you see some of his special issues, you can direct your paper to him. And for that, it will be sent directly to him. If you want an opportunity like that, follow him.
I don't like to edit somebody I know. I want to be very fair.
No, Bernard, you have to follow him small. Bernard, follow him small, eh? He sometimes becomes guest editors for some of the special issues. So when you see an opportunity like that, you send your paper to him. Yeah. I think that will help.
Okay, thank you. Then my last
All
question.
right.
My last question.
All right, Bernard.
Prof, on the issue
yeah, go ahead.
Of working paper, would you advise a writer to want to focus on working papers? Because from what you mentioned, it looks to me that a working paper more like teases out an argument in an area of study. From your experience, does the system allow or encourage that to be done very often? So that probably someone may decide that, okay, I want to go into working papers.
Okay. Where do you want to work? Are you into academics? Do you want to move to academics or industry?
Prof, I want to combine both.
So if you want to go into academics, into academia is for publications. And for industry, if you do working paper, nobody cares about it. Do you understand? But for academia, you need to publish. You need to publish in the top journals. And these top journals, most of them, if you take working paper there, you have problem. Do you understand? Like China, you need to write in in the business schools. You need to write in the ABS school, ABS. Some you have to write in the ABDC. Some you have to write SSC, SCI. These are journals which you need to publish as academia, and you need to make your name there so that people will respect you. People will add your name to the literature. But if you are working as in the industry, like in the bank, like in the hospitals, like in the other areas, if you go to working papers, most of the working papers in the finance area are being done by either IMF workers, World Bank workers, ADB workers, or any of these people, they are workers, when they see the problem and they want to tackle it, then they write it and put it as a working paper. Do you understand? So it is good. It depends on where you work, and where you work will help you generate what you want to do. So thank you.
Thank you, Prof.
Wow. Thank you very much. I think we are done.
Hello, sir. Just a quick
hello,
one on the working.
We are
just a quick one. Just a quick one.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll take the last one.
Citations. I think I am in China, right? Even in citations, some professors and some schools do not allow you to cite working papers. Yes, they will not even allow you to cite working papers. I know some of my colleagues whose whole referencing needs to be checked by their professors because they have cited working papers, right? So if you are in academia, even when you are writing your thesis, they don't want you to cite working paper. How much more would you love to write working paper? So we have to also check on that.
All right. Thank you very much. I think at this juncture, we would bring the Q&A to an end. Really appreciate everyone that is participating and, still here with us. Prof, we really treasure your time and the dedication you've invested into this. Even though today is not Valentine's Day, we have our Ifabo Miss Dede. She's going to do a presentation of a citation to you. You have really done a great job. It was straightforward and very educative. Yeah. So, Ms. Dede, can you please go ahead with the citation?
Hi, sure. Just
Ms.
a quick
Dede, can you
check-in.
please?
Okay. Awesome. So this is a citation of Anna from NUGS student China to Professor Bright Akwasi Gyamfi. The National Union of Ghana Students China sincerely appreciate your in-depth and insightful delivery at our research masterclass on the topic structuring a research paper from introduction to conclusion, held on the 16th of February 2024. Your vivid presentation was done with utmost clarity to the understanding of the audience, to the great success of the program. We are delighted to have you on board for another session. We are truly grateful for accepting our invitation and your research guidance. God richly bless you, Professor, and thank you so much.
You're welcome, my sister. So you can send it
Wow,
to me.
Prof. Yeah. So, Prof, this is your Valentine, gift. We love you. Just to tell you, we love you.
Thank you very much.
NUGS-CHINA loves you. Yeah, we really appreciate the work you're doing.
You've also given me the chance.
Yeah. So, everyone.
I said thank you very much.
Sure.
You've also given
You can
me the
go
chance
ahead
to
and
also
speak.
express my knowledge. It's not everybody whom you call on board to come and give whatever he's supposed to give. So thank you all very much. And I've given my numbers to a lot of you guys in the message area.
Sure.
So any of you who want to contact me, you can contact me. Or if you want to get my number, you can get from the organizers. They have my number. So I'll prefer to work with those who are in the finance and economics area, where my ideas will much be beneficial to them. But notwithstanding, if you're in the other areas and you want my help in whatever you're doing, I can contribute or I can link you to a different person who can help you in whatever you're doing. Thank you all, and may God bless you all. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Prof. Yeah, so we can still appreciate, Prof's hard work and dedication to us. We can still appreciate, tell him, type a message. Prof, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. We'd like to have more of your time, more of this. And I believe most of the students here would contact you and you help them, walk them through their project works. Yeah. Yeah, so at this juncture, we would like to call on our one and only president, Steve, our one and only president, to give us the closing remarks. Let's welcome him. Let's welcome our president.
Thank you very much, Mr.
National.
Yeah. Yes, please. Please, can I be heard?
Honorable, you are welcome.
Please, can I be heard?
Yes, yes, you can be heard.
Okay, thank you very much. Wow, thank you very much, President Lewis. You've done a great job there. Prof, great job. Thank you very much. Wow. We would first like to thank the Almighty God for making it possible for us all to meet today to have this glorious educative section. In fact, our second thanks to Professor Bright Akwasi Gyamfi. Prof, NUGS-CHINA would like to say, yeah, that was it. Thank you very, very much. In fact, for this educative, impactful, and then indelible imprint that you've left with us, we would forever be grateful to you. And like you mentioned, we will always keep this collaboration and cooperative link with you. Thank you all those who also make time to attend this meeting. And then please, let's continue to invite more people to attend this program. Like we earlier on mentioned, it's a 4-in-1 package, and then we're starting today. It's going to get hotter and hotter as the day goes by. So in view of that, we will be continuing tomorrow, please. Tomorrow we are continuing. And then tomorrow, the professor who will be coming is in the person of Professor Michael Ashmon Appiah. Professor Michael Ashmon Appiah. Like Prof. Bright mentioned, tomorrow's part or tomorrow's section is so key. My professor will always tell you this is the steer of the research. This is the keys of the research, literature review. In fact, you can get the introduction well, you can get your methodology, but your literature review will not match the work. And then once the literature doesn't match up or bring understanding to whatever that you are doing, you are outrightly wrong or off from track. Your hypothesis, your current knowledge, everything must synchronize. So tomorrow's aspect is very, you don't say, oh, now Prof. Wright has come. He has given us everything. But let's not forget, he didn't also probably mention anything or go into the literature review. So with the literature review, please, let's try as much as possible to make time to come and study the steps, how to search for relevant literatures, how to evaluate the sources, identify themes, hypotheses, debate, how to fill literature gaps, and then outline the structures, write your own literature review, and then the points that you can get in building all the structures. Please, tomorrow's section is important. So let's continue to invite people the more so that when we come, we know how to analyze, how to synthesize, how to critically evaluate our work or probably our hypothesis to give a clear picture of what we want to do and then what we want to communicate. In line with that, tomorrow we would have a community count. Today we are very sorry. NUGS-CHINA would like to deal with all, and then we would like to apologize that it was quite unfortunate that most people couldn't join. And we tried to do it on Facebook Live and others, so we transmitted through those mediums. But tomorrow, in as much as we'll be transmitting through those mediums or all social media handles, we would also have, in fact, I think it has already been created. So we'll post it on all pages, and then we'll send the new Zoom link around so that tomorrow we have a maximum capacity of 500. So tomorrow we have a maximum capacity of 500. So whoever would like to join, we'll give you the opportunity to join and ask your questions. We're also very sorry to those who joined Tencent. I think there were a lot of questions on the Tencent, but they couldn't ask. But tomorrow is also another section. One thing that we should not forget is that Prof. Bright is gone, but Prof. Michael is also coming. He's also a senior researcher like Prof. Bright. They are professors, so tomorrow you also come. Let's not forget, next week we are continuing. So even if you are not able to ask your question today, tomorrow you have another opportunity to ask. And then next week,